Hello everyone. So in today's topic, we will learn how to use the Origin software, which is used for graphs and data analysis. It is a very famous software that is quite handy and easy to use, especially for making graphs that are acceptable for research articles. So without further ado, let's begin. So as all of you know that a research article consists of two main components. The first component is the text, of course, and the second component is the figures. So the figures needs to be visually appealing and attractive to grab the reader's attention. In today's discussion, we will explore Origin software, which is renowned for creating beautiful graphs. So whenever a researcher submits his or her article to a journal, the first thing the editor do is to go through the graphs. If your graphs are boring and not beautiful enough, so he will not accept your paper for further review. So what is Origin? Origin is a powerful and versatile research tool that provides several benefits to researchers and students. So some of the key components of Origin are that it is used for making professional graphs. Origin generates good looking graphs that can be used in research articles as informative visual aids. It is also used for complex and simple data analysis, and it is very simple to use as compared to Microsoft Excel, and it has an interactive and smooth interface. So the focus of today's session is to convert all the students from using Microsoft Excel to Origin software, and you will see in a while how easy Origin is to use. So what are the main advantages of Origin software? Origin offers advanced graphing capabilities allowing users to create publication quality plots easily. These plots are visually appealing. Users have full control over the customization of all of these plots, including its axis formatting, its plot styles, and you can add different annotations as well. So the software supports high resolution exporting, ensuring that graphs maintain high quality when included in research paper and presentations. So the best thing about this Origin software is that it is user friendly and it is very easy to learn. So whenever you try to learn Excel, so after 6 months when you come back and use Excel, you need to relearn everything from the start. But in Origin software, once you learn it, you don't need to relearn it again and again as Excel. So in this tutorial, we will discuss the basics of Origin. So I will give you a demonstration on making a very simple graph using two sets of data on different axes, and then we will customize the graph to make it publication worthy. So when you open the Origin software, this is how it looks. So this is the main interface of the Origin software. This section is called the Project Explorer. Here you will see all your books and all your graphs will be listed in this section. And these are called the books. This is where all of your data will be present. It is just like the Excel. And this section is called the Object Manager. This is where the different axis data is present. So without further ado, let's start the demonstration. So I will first of all open the Origin software. So you just saw this interface a while ago. So this is the interface of the Origin software. So now I will try to show you the data that we are going to work on. So this is the data in Excel format. So let me first try to explain the data a little bit. So this is a very simple data set. It has two sets of values. One of them is groundwater level and the other one is the population. And these two are the dates. So in 2010, the groundwater level was 83 meters. And when we go down to 2022, the groundwater has declined up to or down to 113 meters. So with the passage of time, the groundwater is decreasing. Uh, Similar is the case with the population. So in 2010, the population of this particular city was 1.7 million. And in 2023, the population of this city has reached up to 2.57 million. So it is just common sense that if the population is increasing, the increased population is consuming more water, and as a result, the groundwater is declining. So we will use this data, and let's first import this data. So in order to import this data, you need to go to the data section and click on connect to file, and here you can see a range of formats that can be imported into the Origin software. So you can use CSV format, Excel format, MATLAB format, or of course the Origin on format, and lots of other formats as well. So as we are working on the Excel format, so I will click on Excel. So this is the data, the file name is also the data, and I will just open it. So now it is asking if you want to add the labels, these labels, this GWL, air and population. So I will click yes. If you don't click here, it doesn't matter. The data will still be loaded just without labels. So I will click OK. You can add the labels yourself as well. So this is the actual data. So these are the airs, this is the groundwater level data, and this is again the air, and this is the population data. So it is the exact copy of the Excel data. So one thing to consider is the axis. You all know that a graph is plotted on two axes. One of them is x-axis and the other one is y-axis. The y-axis is the vertical axis and the x-axis is the horizontal axis. So here, this particular air data is plotted on the x-axis, you can see here, which is correct. The air must be plotted in the horizontal x-axis. And this is the groundwater level, which is the y-axis. So this is also correct. The groundwater will be on the y-axis and the uh, data will be plotted onto the horizontal axis, which is the x-axis. But here there is an issue. The air data in here is plotted on y-axis, so we cannot use this data on the y-axis. So we need to convert this data to x-axis as well. Both the air data must be on the same axis. So it is very easy to convert this data to x-axis. Just go to this X mark and click X. So now you can see two x-axis values, which are the dates, and two y-axis, which is the actual data. So now we can proceed. So then now let's make a graph out of this data. So in order to select, you just need to click and select like this, or there is a simple way. You just hover over your mouse, an arrow will be shown here. Just click the arrow and all of your data will be selected. So now let's start plotting. Here I want to show you the different kinds of plots. So we have this basic 2D plots. You can see their demos or the representation. Here you can make these data plots. You can also try bar charts, area, statistical contour lines like these, and even 3D. So in today's session, we will go as simple as possible and use the scatter data. So now the graph has been created, but it is not looking too good. So let's try to make sense into this graph. So first of all, I personally don't like this super tall graphs. I like the narrow ones. So how do I convert this graph to a narrow one? I will click here and I will drag it down. So now the graph has been narrowed. So let me just zoom it a little bit by holding the control key and the mouse wheel. So now this is the data. These are the symbols. So this black squares is the groundwater level, and this population is the population is the red one. So this is the scale of our y-axis. So it is quite easy to change the scale. You just need to double click on the scale and a pop-up window would appear. So this is the scale on the left axis. Okay, so we will go to scale. So this is how you can change the scale. So currently we actually don't need this large scale. So what we need to do is to have a look at the groundwater level data. So the groundwater level data starts from 83 meters and it goes down to 113 meters. So we should change the scale in between this range. So let's try to start it from maybe 80 meters, and it should go up to 120, which is fine. Okay, so I will click apply. Now you will see the plot will be changed. So I click apply. So now you can see the plot has changed and the population has disappeared. Why has it disappeared? Because it was in between the 1 and 2, but now the scale has started from 80 to 120. Okay, but still I don't like these uh, points, these tick marks. They are quite far from each other and the distance is not natural. So how do you change this tick marks? By coming to the major ticks, and right now it is increasing by increment of 20. So it is not looking very professional. So maybe I will try to use 5 and click on apply. So now you can see it is a little bit beautiful than before, or it is making more sense than before. So you can always play with it. You can always do it by count. So if I change it to maybe 12, so we will have 12 number of counts. But it is coming in points, so I don't need it. So I will just go to increment and select 5, which is fine for me. Okay, so I will click OK at this stage, but I still don't like these values. They are a little bit confusing to me right now. So I need to change these values. So what I need to do is just double click on these dates and a pop-up window would appear, and you can see now it is the bottom one. Okay, so you can change the scale of this one. Right now it is starting from 2008 and going up to 2022. So I need it to start from maybe 2009, just to drag this graph towards the left side, and I will click apply. So now the values have started from 2009. You can play with it according to your own wishes. So let's try to, the upper value is 2024. Let's change it to 2023 and click apply. So now the other end is also close to the right side of the graph. So I will change the labels from here. Right now it is showing the date and the month. So I will just convert it to years and click apply. So now we can only see the years, but this date or this year is missing. So I will make some changes in here to just make it appear that the right hand side should have a date in here. So let's try to change these. Yes, so now the values starting from 2009 and goes up to 2023. So now this looks okay. So now let's change the symbols. Just double click on the symbol. One more thing, that you can always change the symbol type. Okay, so how do we change? Just if I want to convert these scatter plots into line plot, what I need to do is just right click and I will go to change plot, and I can change it to line plot. Okay, so now you can see it has been changed to line. Now it is done. So you can always change the symbols according to your own wish. So I will change it back to the scatter. Okay, so I don't like these black boxes. I want to convert these to some other symbol. So what I need to do is just click anywhere on these symbols, double click, and go to this symbol box. Okay, so this is the preview, this is the current symbol, and this is the place where you can change the symbol. So when you click here, you have a range of symbols. You can use any one of these as you command. And I would like to use this symbol, which is a circle and a dot in the center. So I will change the size to maybe 8, and I will change the color to maybe a single color and red color, and click apply. Okay, so this is I am right now just demonstrating. You can play with it according to your own wish. So this is the edge thickness, so you can always increase it as well. So I think it is fine by me. Let's try 30. Okay, so this looks kind of a fine right now, and I will click OK. So this is the graph which is making a little bit of sense at this stage. So I need to have a second axis on the right hand side at this stage. So it is very easy to add the second axis. Just go to this place and you will see add right Y layer. Just click, you will see a layer here when I click. So when I click here, now the secondary y-axis has appeared. So I need to just drag the population and I will throw it on the right y-axis. So it would automatically appear. So now I can see the population as well as the groundwater level. So I need to play with this scale as well because it is starting from 0 and it goes up to 10. So I need to double click it again, and you can always use the line as well, as I already told you. Sorry, I need to click here to change the scale. So this is the right one. I will go to the scale. So maybe I want to start from maybe 1.6 and it should go up to 2.7 because this is the level of the scale. So I should use the scale in between here. So this is from 1.6 to 2.7 and I will click apply. So now it is making some sense. So I will just click OK, and I can also change these symbols as well. So suppose I want to use a different symbol such as a triangle, and I can change the color to blue and click OK. So now we can see a pattern here. The population is increasing and the groundwater level is decreasing. So right now I need to close this box from the top as well. It is very easy. Just double click here and the same window would appear. Now I will choose, instead of the bottom, I will choose the top end. So when I click the top end, it is giving me scale. I don't need to use the scale here. I don't need to use the labels. I just need the line. So I will choose show line and pix and I will click apply. So now you can see the graph has closed, but I still don't need these tick marks. So you can always play with them. This is the major tick and this is the minor tick. So right now it is in. You can change it to in and out. So right now it is in and out. This is the major tick. You can always convert the minor tick to in and out, but I don't need those. So I will click none, and the minor tick should also be removed. So I will click apply. So now the top end of the graph is also closed. So one more thing, that you can always label these features. How? Just go here and right click and show labels. So this is how you can show the labels, but right now it doesn't look so good. So I will turn off the labels at this stage. So this is the current graph so far. So let's play with it a little bit more to make it publication worthy. So I want to change this scatter graph into bars to make it more appealing and understandable for the readers. So just go here and right click and change plot to column and bars. So when I click here, you will see different bars in here. So the problem right now is that the population is in the front and the groundwater level is in the back. So it is very easy. Just hold this layer and take it down. So now the groundwater level is in the front side. So now let's play with the bars a little bit. So just double click here and you can change all of its properties. So suppose I need to change the color to maybe green color and click apply. So this is the colors, and I can use the gradient fill to one color. So I can change like this. It is also making some sense. So I can increase the transparency a little bit. So I can also change the border color from this tab. I can make it dotted. I can increase the width to maybe 1.5 like this, but it doesn't look so good. So I will change it back to solid and change it to maybe 1. And I will click OK. So now it is making more sense than before. So now I think I can add the labels as well. So I will just right click here and click on show labels. So now the labels are shown here, but it is still not good enough. So again, double click here and let's go to the labels and play with it for a while. So the label is right now inside, the position is inside base. So I want it, you can always change to it to inside end like this. It is not visible anymore. You can make it center. It is not visible, and it is not visible in any function. Why is it? Because I have not given the axis. Which axis do I want? So you go to the frame and click here. Sorry, this one, label form. Which label do you need? I need it to be from the y-axis. Okay, and I will click apply. So now you can see the labels has appeared on the top. You can always change it to maybe center like this, or maybe inside end like this. But I think for right now the outside end looks good, but the size is a little bit large. So I will change the size of the text to maybe 16 like this. So now it looks fine by me. And you can always change the width of these bars as well from the panel section, sorry, the spacing section. And I need to change this gap between bars to maybe 40. So now they are narrowed from before. I think 30 should be fine. Yes. And you can always uh, play with it like this. And you can always apply a frame here as well. So suppose you need a box. So the labels will be appeared in a box and shadow like this. But I think we don't require any box at this moment. So now this is the current graph that we have just created. So we need to convert these uh, uh, text. So just double click here and maybe write down the groundwater decline, sorry, groundwater level, and the unit is in meters. Okay, so this is the population and it is in millions. Just click anywhere. So now the graph is almost ready. So what we need to do is play with the symbol as well. Okay, so right now I will delete the label for now. So now the legend symbols are deleted. So how do we make it appear again? Just go to graph and click legend and click reconstruct legend. So the population legend has appeared. So just click on the layer 2 and then again go here and click on the legend and then click reconstruct legend. So now the groundwater level has also appeared. So you can always change or play with these legends as well. Just right click and go to properties. If you need to increase the size of the symbol, you can always do that. Suppose this groundwater level symbol is quite tiny as compared to the population, so I may need to increase the size to 200 and click apply. So now the size has been increased, but I don't need these two frames. So I will go to frame and I will click none in the box and I will click OK. And I will do the same for the population. Right click properties and then go to frame and then click none. So you can always decrease the size here. So now the population size has been decreased. You can decrease it even more like this. So I need a single box for these two. So I can go to this area and click the rectangle tool and just select this area. So it has disappeared. I just need to go to the properties and click the fill and from light gray color to none. And I will click OK or apply. If you don't like the border, you can always change the border style to dash line as well. Or if you like the simple line, you can do it as well. So I think this looks a little bit fine. So I will click OK. So now the graph has been created like this. So in order to make some sense into it, regarding which one is the groundwater level and which one is the population, you can always change the colors. So just click on the text and you can change the color to maybe red, just to make it similar to this red color. So the population can also be changed. Just click the text and go to text and click the green color. Okay, so now the population has been converted to the green color, which can be related to these green color bars. So now I think the graph is completed at this stage. So now let's try to save it as JPG. So I will go to File and I will go to Export Graph and the advanced one, and I will click Open Dialog. So Origin gives you a range of options to save. So I need to change it to JPEG and I will name it as Graph1 maybe, and I will give the path, any path you like. I will select this particular folder, and it is asking the margin control. I will click tight just to remove the space. You can always add preview to see the preview as well, but I don't use it often. And you can always change the DPI resolution. So I think this is set. I will click apply, and now you will see the image by the name graph1. So now I will double click here, and this is the graph that we have just created. So now let's save this graph in the origin format for further editing in the future, because we cannot edit this JPEG file. So I can just go to File and click Save Project As, and I will write maybe a demo graph, and I will choose the same folder, which is origin, and I will save it here. So now you can see the exact name demo graph, and now I can close this one. So suppose you show this graph to your supervisor and the supervisor suggests to change something in it. So it is extremely simple. And one more thing, the resolution is quite good. You can zoom it here. The resolution is very good. You can always increase the resolution if you want to. So suppose your supervisor recommended you to change these colors from green to maybe blue, and he or she asked you to remove these labels maybe, or maybe he or she asked you to include the date and month in here. So it is super easy. Just open your file and it will be opened. So very quickly I will make these changes. So just double click on the bar and I will convert it to maybe blue color as recommended by my supervisor. And I need to delete the labels. I will go here and I will delete the labels, and I want to add the month and date. I will double click on the date panel, and a window would appear, and maybe I need to click here and click OK. So now the date and the year has appeared. So I will quickly save it again as JPEG format. So I will change it to JPEG again, and maybe the file name this time should be graph2. Graph2. The path should be origin in this case. Okay, and I will click OK. So now the graph2 has also appeared here. So this is the modified graph, but the borders are not tight this time. And so I remember one more thing, that the groundwater level, there should be a negative sign with these, because the groundwater decreases, it is not increasing. So we can always do that. Very simple. Double click here, and you can add suffix or prefix with this text. So this is the prefix. I just need to add negative sign, and I will click OK. So now you can see the negative signs. Once again, I will quickly save this as a tight border. So I will leave the name as graph2, and I will change the borders to tight, and maybe I need to increase the resolution this time to 600, and I will click apply. It is asking me that this name already exists and I should replace it. Yes. So now the graph 2 has changed like this. Now you can see the negative signs and the resolution is very high. So that's it for today. Thank you so much. Bye bye.